Okay, so hey guys, welcome back to another Axel 72 video, and in today's video I'm back with another interview, and it's a pleasure to be joined here today by Joshua Holmes. Josh, how are we, mate?
Yes, mate, I'm all good, thank you. Just finished my strength and conditioning over in Rosendale with me and strength coach Paul. Just got back, parked up home, ready for an interview.
Of course. No, I appreciate you. You've been very busy as of recent, and like I said off camera, I appreciate your time here today. And for anybody who possibly may not know, am I right in saying you're a 28-year-old lightweight who's 13-0?
Yeah, that's the one, mate.
Brilliant stuff. And so I'll start with the question, which I always like to start off with, going right to the very start of your career. And so, why did you start boxing?
Funny one, really. I never actually got into it until I was 13. So I always played football, played rugby, and then I think all it was, I seen a few fights on a rugby pitch and I thought I want a little bit of that. So none of my family ever really boxed. I wasn't pressured into it or anything like that. I just one day said to my dad, "Get me in a boxing gym," and I've never looked back. And that's 15 years ago now.
No, that's brilliant. And I suppose, you still did start at quite a young age, and for any other possible parents who may watch this, or even young kids themselves watching this, getting into sports, how much did it help you to kind of have a focus as a young teenager?
Yeah, massive. I've always played sport anyway, but for me, I was quite shy as a kid. Always struggled to speak to people, so as soon as I started boxing, it completely changed my mindset on my confidence. Not just being able to fight, obviously, but just confidence. Just throughout life, it just gave me a massive boost of confidence. So yeah, I recommend it to any young male or female. Just starting off, definitely.
Of course. And then I suppose when you did properly start fighting, do you remember what happened in that of your first boxing fight in the amateurs?
Yeah, well, I actually had one unlicensed fight for my first ever fight. I was 16. So I started boxing when I was 13, and I didn't have a fight until I was 16, so I had 3 years of training. Not because of my fault, really, just the gym that I was at, really, just struggled to get me a fight. So I actually had an unlicensed fight for the first fight, and I was only 16 at the time. I remember getting in the ring. I was just telling someone over there, so I got in the ring, and they were got in across from me, just full of tattoos, big stocky kid. And I didn't find out until after the fight. We were actually 21.
Wow.
I was only 16 at the time, and he's like a man across front ring. But I punched his head in, but yeah, it were a great experience. It was one of them for the first fight. You realise, oh yeah, I'm in a fight now. This isn't just sit in the pads. This isn't just sit in the bag in a friendly gym and environment. Someone's wanting to take your head off. So being able to control your emotions. In that sort of state, I think that's what you kind of get addicted to as a fighter, that buzz.
Most definitely. And I suppose when you speak about controlling your emotions, and I suppose going into any fight, fighters say it's kind of natural to an extent to feel certain amounts of nerves, but have you ever really struggled with that, or how have you managed to deal with that?
Yeah, you always get a little bit of nerves, but nerves are good. You've got to learn to control them, you've got to let them get the better of you. But I think if you're not nervous, then you're not prepared. You know what I mean? So I have a little bit of nerves, but it's the excitement as well. You know what I mean? As long as you've prepared well, there's no need to be too nervous. I'd say you're probably only nervous if you've skipped a run here and there. Not trained as hard as you could have done on one session. That'll play in the back of your mind. But as long as you're prepared, like you should have done, nerves are going to be there. And it's good to have them.
Of course. And then I suppose going to your kind of amateur career as a whole, did you have much of an amateur career, and what would you say was that of your biggest achievement?
Yeah, so I had 29 fights as an amateur. Probably should have had a lot more. Should have been a little bit more busy. I had 29 fights. I had 24 wins. So I had a pretty good amateur career. I think I only lost one as a senior. I was a Yorkshire belt holder. I had 7 fights for the Yorkshire title. Defended that 6 or 7 times, and then I was the development national champion as well. I think I was under 20 fights. I had 6 fights in 6 weeks. and won the nationals. Stopped 3 of the kids. So I had a pretty decent amateur career, to be honest, but as I was just about to step up to the seniors in the amateurs, in the championships, just got a bad injury, which then just pushed me back, and then I came back, and then I got another bad injury, and then I kind of fell out of love with it, and I had a big break from the sport before I then turned pro.
Of course, and I suppose to an extent, would you say that injury was that of a catalyst to why you turned pro when you did?
Yeah, well, I gave up boxing, I'll be honest, after the bad injuries in the amateurs, and went travelling. I went travelling for like 9 months, but nothing was the same, if you get me. Like, I thought it'd be easy to walk away from the sport, even though I was only in the amateurs, but there was an itch that still needed to be scratched, and I was in New Zealand at the time and just had this fire in my belly and just needed to get back. The injuries had kind of healed up then, and I just needed to get back. So yeah, I got the flight home and then went up from there. Spoke to my manager now, Kevin, who I've known for many years, and we turned straight over and I got straight back to it.
Of course, and I'm sure you're glad you did, because of the career you've had so far being so impressive. And I suppose if you are to, sum up to an extent the career as a whole and pick possible one fight so far that you've had as a favourite, which one would you say so far that is?
In the amateurs and pro, I'd like that national final. That was a massive fight for me. I worked so hard to get to that final. I think I came up short the year before in the Yorkshire final. So then the year after, I then went on to win the nationals, and it was about a 4-hour coach journey. I got a lot of support down there for it, and I came away with a win. So that was a big achievement for me in the amateurs. As a pro, I've not quite got to where I want to get yet, nowhere near where I want to get yet. So then big nights are coming though.
Of course, and I suppose when you reflect on last year and boxing as a whole last year for you, it seemed to be that of a good year for you, and you kind of came back from a little bit of time out and ended up becoming consistent again. And so were you happy with the way you kind of progressed last year as a whole?
Yeah, so yeah, I had 4 fights last year, 3 of them coming by stoppage. And yeah, like, I had a bit of time out before last year, so it was good to get back to it, winning all 4 fights. Then moved gyms, moved to Gallaghers gym, I think in June last year, so I've had 3 fights under Joe now, and there's been huge progression, so I'm just looking forward to getting back out now this year and, starting as I left off.
Of course, and like you mentioned, joining Gallaghers gym, it's a very historic British gym. It's one that's had lots of success in the past. And do you feel like just surrounding yourselves with the people that are there, it's just kind of progressed you even more?
Yeah, of course. Every day we turn up to the gym and we all work hard. Joe's got a great history of training elite fighters, past and present now. So we're all there to do one job, and that's just win, and be the best version of ourselves. So, there's plenty of people in the gym now, and we're all pushing on, and everyone's in the same mindset. Work as hard as possible, try out work with the person next to you.
Most definitely. And for your kind of self at the point in your career that you're at, what would you say is that of your motivation for boxing?
I want to just be successful. At the end of the day, it's a job as well. At the end of the day, and I want to be successful at my job. I've loved the sport for many years now, so I just want to see how far I can get. I dedicate my full life to it, so I just want to see how far I can get. Whether that's British level, European, or world. I believe I can go there, but it's just one step at a time, and I want to enjoy the journey. It's not a long career, it's only a short career. I might have 5 more years left, I might have 6, might have 7, who knows. But I just want to see what I can do in that short space of time.
Of course, and obviously you're back out fighting again soon, just a couple of weeks, March 9th, if I believe I'm right in saying. And so overall, so far, how's the preparations been going?
Been very well, yeah. Just like every camp, stick to the plan, stick to the training, and I'm in the perfect position right now. 3 weeks out, just short of 3 weeks out now, flying in the perfect position. So I just can't wait to get back out there. I think we've got a tough little opponent, so it's going to be a great fight.
And like you mentioned, you have under the management of Marie Boxing, and do you feel like he's been very good at giving you these opportunities throughout your whole career?
Yeah, yes, Kevin's a great manager. I don't think anyone will really have a bad word to say about him. I've known him for years as well, so he's a great friend, not just a manager. And he's got a plan in place, and we've both got a plan in place. So it's just keep winning, you know. Let the fights keep coming. I'll keep beating them, and we'll sell those title shots.
And I suppose with this good gym around you, this good management around you, and this good support around you, do you kind of notice the importance of having this just generally good team around you?
Yeah, it's always important to have a good team. Like I said, Joe's been around for years, so you know he's got the experience under his belt. So I listen to him. You know what I mean? Sometimes the fighter might think he knows best, but he doesn't probably. It's usually his coach that knows best. So you know, Kevin and Joe have both got many years of experience. So I think I keep doing my thing, and they'll keep doing their thing, and together, you know, it's going to work.
Of course, and I suppose going into this next fight, for anybody who possibly may not have watched you fight before, what would you say kind of makes yourself interesting as a fighter?
I'm a switch hitter. I can do a bit of both. I can work on the inside, I can work on the outside. I love boxing on the back foot. I love to switch. I can box in orthodox, southpaw, you name it. I could box I'm actually an orthodox, but if I wanted to, I could start in southpaw and I could finish the fight in southpaw. I've always been just blessed with just being able to switch down, so I love to do that in a fight. And I've started sitting down on my shots a little bit more now. As you can see in my last few fights, I've got a good little knockout streak, so I expect an explosive performance in my next fight.
And I suppose when you are on a bit of a stoppage streak, does that kind of just add more self-confidence and self-belief in your ability?
Yeah, of course. I think when I first turned over, the main thing was just getting the wins and getting the experience. Wasn't necessarily looking for any stoppages, just gaining the experience, especially after I had two years out after turning over. So now it's just, right now it's time to make statements, getting ready for these bigger fights. 13 fights now, 14 on the next fight, so these big fights are going to be coming, so getting the rounds in the bank, but you know, look eye-catching at the same time.
Of course, and you've touched upon this already a little bit, but what would you say kind of are your future aspirations for boxing?
I want the British title, and that's always been a little dream of mine, just to win that British Lonsdale belt. And then just be successful, earn a living from it. You know what I mean? Like I said before, it's a job at the end of the day. So if I can earn a living just like a normal job, I'm not bothered about these big paydays. To be honest, I just want to be able to earn money to support the family. You know what I mean? And become successful and just be the best version of myself. And just show people that with hard work you can achieve what you believe you can.
Of course, that's amazing, mate. And I'll leave with this final question, which I always like to ask you. You've got a little bit of a platform here. Is there anything that you'd like to shout out or to promote?
Just a big shout out to Maverick Star Trust. Here we go. I'm an ambassador for the charity. They're doing great things for the sport, for the grassroots of boxing, helping kids out, bringing them into the boxing gyms and showing them the right path. So massive shout out to Maverick Star Trust.
That's amazing. Yeah, it seems like a great cause, and so I appreciate, like I say, you coming on here today, and it's been a pleasure speaking to you, and like I say, best of luck with this upcoming fight, and maybe a bit further along down the line we can come back and have another chat.
Appreciate it, mate. Yeah, down the line, a few titles on my belt then.
Of course, and so if you're new around here and you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you did indeed like the video, and thanks for watching.